Have you ever noticed that Taiwan's main airline is called China Airlines? But in reality, this airline is based in Taiwan and represents a very different story. So why the name China Airlines has remained unchanged and why changing it is not as simple as it sounds? Let's find out. Hi everyone, I am Jason Kang and I talk about travels and economics. China Airlines is the national carrier of Taiwan. It was founded back in 1959 during a time when Taiwan's government still officially called itself the Republic of China. At that moment in history, the government in Taipei still claimed to be the legitimate government of all of China, not just Taiwan. Because of this, naming the airline China Airlines felt natural and politically correct at the time. The airline's name actually comes from the Republic of China, which is Taiwan's official name. It does not come from the People's Republic of China, which is the Beijing government most people think of today. Over time, as the international community began to recognize the People's Republic of China instead of Taiwan, the name started to create more and more confusion. Today, when travelers hear the name China Airlines, many assume it belongs to the People's Republic of China. Some even mix it up with Air China, which is the actual flag carrier of Beijing. This has led to many misunderstandings, especially in international news reports, where Taiwan's airline is sometimes credited to China by mistake. In the 1990s, China Airlines decided to change its logo. Originally, the tail of the aircraft carried Taiwan's national flag. But this design became politically sensitive, especially when flying to places like Hong Kong after it was handed back to China in 1997. To reduce tension, the airline replaced the flag with a plum blossom, which is Taiwan's national flower. This allowed the airline to keep a connection to Taiwan's identity, but in a softer and less politically charged way. So why has the name never been updated to something like Taiwan Airlines? The reason is politics. The People's Republic of China strongly opposes any use of Taiwan in international organizations or major brands because they see it as a challenge to their One China principle. If China Airlines officially changed its name, it could trigger retaliation from Beijing, and that might affect the airline's ability to fly to certain destinations or keep international partnerships. This is where it gets even more complicated. The People's Republic of China promotes the One China principle, which says that Taiwan is part of China and that Beijing is the only legitimate government. On the other hand, many countries adopt the One China policy. That means they recognize Beijing as the government of China, but they use very careful wording when it comes to Taiwan. For example, the United States acknowledges Beijing's position, but it does not accept it. This small difference in wording allows countries to maintain unofficial relations with Taiwan while still respecting Beijing's demand for diplomatic recognition. Now, you might wonder, what does this have to do with airlines' name? The answer lies in aviation agreements. Airlines can only fly internationally if their governments have signed air service agreements with other countries. Taiwan does not have many formal diplomatic allies, so these agreements are often signed under names like Taipei or Chinese Taipei, using special representative offices instead of embassies. If the airline suddenly became Taiwan Airlines, it could raise political red flags and even put those agreements at risk. Let's imagine that tomorrow, China Airlines officially rebranded as Taiwan Airlines. Beijing would likely pressure countries to block the new name, and some airports or partners might even cancel route rights. Taiwan's access to international hubs could shrink, and that would damage both its passenger and cargo business. For an airline that operates globally, such risks are simply too high. Beyond politics, there are also practical business reasons. China Airlines has been in operation for more than 60 years, and its name is recognized all around the world. Changing it would involve updating tickets, reservation systems, airport signs, safety documents, maintenance records, and even financial agreements. The cost of a full rebrand would be enormous, and the process could take years to complete. So the name is not only a political issue, but also a huge logistical challenge. Another important point is that China Airlines is not just a passenger airline. It is also one of the world's leading cargo carriers, moving goods across Asia, Europe, and North America. Much of this cargo business depends on smooth access to international markets, including mainland China. If a name change disrupted these routes, it could hurt Taiwan's economy as a whole, not just the airline. That being said, many people in Taiwan feel strongly about the name. They believe the airline should reflect Taiwan's identity, not just the outdated title of China. In 2020, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Taiwan donated masks and medical supplies to many countries. But when the shipments arrived, international media sometimes credit them to China because the planes carried the China Airlines logo. Taiwan's parliament even passed a resolution urging the airline to rebrand. However, the resolution was non-binding, and leaders recognized that changing the name might cause international problems. As a result, instead of a full rebrand, the airline began introducing design changes, like adding the word Taiwan more visibly on the fuselage while keeping China Airlines as the official name. For now, the most realistic option is a soft branding change. This means keeping China Airlines as the legal name for international agreements while gradually adding more visible Taiwan branding on planes, marketing campaigns, and official events. This approach reduces confusion without triggering the political and legal problems of a full name change. Many travelers and even journalists still mix up China Airlines with Air China. This is why Taiwan continues to push for clearer branding to make sure the world knows the difference between the two carriers. The story of China Airlines shows how something as simple as a name can carry a deep history of politics, identity, and international diplomacy. The airline keeps the name because it protects flight rights, business stability, and international access. At the same time, Taiwan is finding creative ways to show more of its identity to the world without risking its connections. Thanks for watching. If you found this explanation helpful, do not forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next videos.